My name is Zank Frappa, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. That is, do a let's play of me playing Vintage Story. This is one of my favorite games ever. I've been playing since 2023, I think. It's 2026 now. Um, if you're not familiar with what Vintage Story is, it's kind of like that other block game that we all know and love, um, but not really. It's a lot more grounded, slower, realistic. Um, it's kind of like, you ever watch those primitive technology videos where the guy builds a hut out of sticks and mud and like digs up iron particles out of a stream and builds a kiln to refine them? It's basically that, but in a game. Like I said, it's called Vintage Story, and it's genuinely one of the most satisfying and rewarding survival games I've ever played. So I'm really excited to take you guys along with me as I play through a fresh world. I'm on version 1.21. I'm running a few mods. I'll leave the mod list in the description. Nothing crazy, just some things to kind of smooth over some of the rougher parts of the game. It is still in development, and also make exploration a little more interesting. So why don't we go ahead and get a world set up here, and we'll get going. All right, here we are. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and create a character. I think I want to be blue. Don't know why, just kind of do. All right, so here's the guy we came up with. I don't know why, but I felt inclined to make him look kind of insane, uh, because this game is going to drive us insane sometimes, so I think it's fitting. Now we're going to go ahead and choose a class. I think I'm probably going to go with the commoner class, just because some of the nerfs and buffs on the other classes they're fun to play with, but for this playthrough, I want to keep things kind of simple. Um, yeah, so we're going to go with the commoner class. And here we are in our beautiful world. One of my favorite things about this game is just how lovely and natural the terrain looks. You get some of that kind of interesting terrain generation that you do in Minecraft, but just a little more grounded, like with everything. I don't want to compare this game too much to Minecraft because I do really believe that it's an entirely different game. It shares the commonality of being made of blocks, but as you'll see as we play through this, things get very different very quickly. Um, Starting out here, we need to prioritize getting ourselves some shelter. There are enemies in this game. They're called drifters, and they are not very friendly. Um, so first things first, we're gonna grab these berries. That's another thing we got to worry about is food. So if you weren't aware, there are seasons in this game, and food will become very scarce very quickly. Once late fall, early winter start rolling around, it's going to be very difficult for us to uh, feed ourselves. So we are going to have to really work on getting that situated. Um, the other thing you got to worry about is nutrition. So you can't just eat like steak and bread constantly. Oh, okay. We already have some neighbors. We have that's a trader over there. Those guys spawn around the world, and I forget what that type of drifter is called, but that big scary looking fellow who lives in a hole, he is not our friend. So we're just gonna keep going this way, maybe. What I'm doing right now is I'm picking up rocks because we're gonna need to make some tools here so we can get going on a shelter for the night. All right, so I got some flint and some granite. We're gonna use the flint to make some tools here momentarily. Grab these berries while we're at it. Delicious currants. All right, so this is how you make stone tools in Vintage Story. You have to flint knap, much like our ancestors did back in the day. We're just gonna bang some rocks together and see what comes out of it. It's pretty simple. You basically just chip away at the parts that are highlighted, and eventually you get a nice little flint axe head. So we're gonna make an axe, and a knife. I really wish you could make 2 knife blades at once. Maybe you can, and I'm just stupid and don't know how. I don't think so. So we've got a knife, and we're going to make a couple of spears because it looks like we're already going to have to defend ourselves from that lovely fellow down in the hole over there. I'm going to make a couple of these, actually. All right. So we got some tool heads. Looks like one thing we are missing is some sticks to slap these on. So why don't we run over to the woods and see what's going on. Looks like we got some mushrooms. I can't collect these without a knife yet, but these are going to be good to eat later. So we're going to collect those up. Oh, we got turnips too. Man, somebody is going crazy over here. I think against my better judgment, I'm going to go check out what he's doing. Just see... I don't think it was this one. He was down here. I hear him. Yeah, you see that little guy right there? That's a drifter. And I think I saw someone else. Yep, there's our big buddy. We're not going to go down there for a while. Caves are incredibly terrifying in this game. There are lots of enemies that we will likely encounter later on, and not much else. Sometimes you can find ore and stuff down there, but generally speaking, it's better to mine it yourself just out of the ground instead of trying to find it in a cave. We got one stick. Oh, there's a couple more. Grab these. And let's go ahead and get some spears and a knife and our axe. Very nice. Okay, so that's some tools situated. We're gonna definitely need to go back and find some more materials for that later, but at least we got something to start out with here. It looks like we're picking up some quartz. I don't really want quartz right now, so we're gonna set that on the ground. As you can see, inventory space is very limited early on. These little slots right here are for things like baskets and backpacks that we can craft later on. It's going to take some work to get those going, so for now we're just going to suffer through not being able to carry very much, and I am going to chop some trees. So I will be back once I have a few stacks of logs. Alright, so it looks like I have run out of inventory space here. I can't pick up the rest of these logs, but I did get a bunch of sticks, which is nice because we needed those. I'm just going to grab these rocks as well because we're going to need those later on. I believe you can make tools out of granite and flint, but flint is the better choice. It has better durability, if I recall correctly. It's actually been a while since I've played Vintage Story. I got kind of burned out. I was playing this crazy modded playthrough. And built a big house, built a bunch of farms and stuff. Sort of got to the late game, made steel, and just kind of petered out. So that's why I'm actually really looking forward to this new playthrough, because it's fresh and exciting, but also because I get to share some of the cool stuff that I do with you all. So let's check out what this trader has to say. So it looks like we got an artisan trader here. He doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff that we really care about right now, but for later, I'm going to go ahead and mark him on our map. That way we can come back to him later once we are rolling in gears. Gears are the currency of the game that you can use with these guys, and that's actually one thing I forgot to mention earlier is you can find those down in the caves. There's ruins and things that they spawn in, which reminds me, I'm actually playing with a mod called Better Ruins. So normally in the game, there are these little small ruins that spawn. There's some lore and story-oriented stuff that spawns. But just to make it more interesting, I've got this mod, again, Better Ruins. It adds, just more more varied, bigger, interesting, whatever you want to call it, structures to the world that I think give it just that little bit of flavor that make it slightly more interesting. Um, right now, I'm kind of just wandering around. Sun's starting to set. We need to get going on somewhere to sleep. Well, I take that back. We're not going to be able to make a bed just yet. So why don't we... What's that? That might be a ruin. I can't tell if that's a rock formation or a ruin. Uh, oh, sweet. Okay. Fresh water. That's something we were looking for because these guys spawn. Cattails, also known as reeds. Um, we can make baskets to expand our inventory. So I'm going to come back to this once I put down some of these logs to build a house. I think I'm going to head over this way. I like the look of this area. I don't really love being out in the open. I don't know why. It just kind of feels weird. So I want to find somewhere um, where I can build sort of up against like a hill or something. Oh, this is a nice little area. Nice little zone. We got some wheat or spelt. That'll be useful later. We don't really have the space to pick it up right now. I suppose here's as good a place as any. We can always move later. So I'm going to get going on building a little something, and I will see you once I have something to show you. Oh. So I was just running back to grab some more maple logs to finish up my house, and I saw, look at that, a bear. I just heard something. I don't know what that was. Oh, seeing that bear's got me a little bit on edge. Those guys are not fun to deal with. They are very hard to kill and very aggressive. So we're gonna keep going, and I will be back later. Nope, actually, no, I won't be back later. Here's something else. So this is a rift, I believe it's called. I don't know if you can see that little gear on my HUD is spinning. So that is called temporal stability. And if I stood there long enough, that gear would deplete and I would basically go crazy. It sort of transports you into this other realm full of drifters and not so nice guys. So we're gonna avoid that. I didn't check to see if the place where I'm building my house is temporally stable. I hope it is. I don't remember seeing that gear spinning, so I think we're good, but we'll find out when we go back. All right, so I came up with this little dugout log hut thing. I think what I'm going to do, just to give myself a little extra space, is dig out the floor one block here. That way, we're not bumping our head like every time we walk in the door. I also think at some point I am going to cover this with dirt because fire is a very real risk, and I don't want my house burning up into nothing. So why don't we... Man, the sun is really getting dark. I think what we need to do now is collect a little bit of grass. I'm going to get a fire going for the night. That should be plenty. Let's see if I can actually remember how to make a fire. Alright, so we put down our tinder. I don't know what that's... Something is not happy with me outside. Oh, that's another drifter. Okay. Ah! Okay, we're gonna hide in here for a while. So I don't know why I can't remember how to... Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. I need to make firewood. So let's pop this in the crafting table. There we go. So we got ourselves a little fire pit. I'm gonna stack these up in the corner. And we need to make a fire starter, which I think you make... No. Oh man, it is not pleasant out there. Let's figure out how to make a fire starter. Oh, that's what we're doing wrong. Forgot a little grass. So let's do that. And I'm pretty sure if I remember right, I'm not going to burn my house down by building a fire pit in here. I might give myself a little carbon monoxide poisoning because we're in an enclosed space. But that's a risk I'm willing to take because outside's not much better. So I'm going to lean that up against the wall. That's one thing I really love about this game is you can set stuff on the ground and it just looks lived in. I actually have a mod that lets me pile other things up, which I think I'm going to do with these stones. Yeah, see, like, that just looks so good. It looks like that's, you know, if I was out in the world for real, I would probably pile up my stones in the corner like that, you know? We don't need these spears right now either, so I'm going to set... Where'd my other one go? Oh, it's on my hotbar. Alright, so we'll lean those up against the wall there. And... I think the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little shovel. So we get ourselves a shovel. I kind of messed myself up a little bit by setting all that stuff on the ground because what I'm going to do now is dig up the floor. Like I said, just to give ourselves a little extra room. I'll fix the rest of this stuff off camera. But, you know, we got done what we wanted to get done today. That's great. We're already well on our way. I think I am going to head off for now, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.